going on? What's going on? We are back with another episode of the JJ Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, main host, Jordan Jean-Louis. I got my boy Ant. We're doing a two-man band tonight. Technical difficulties on Matt's end, but we'll get that situated next show. But
we're without the two M's tonight. Matt Thornton can't make it tonight yet. We were trying to work with them on the microphone, but Matt's working a little night shift tonight, so just me and you, Jay.
It's funny how he was clowning me for missing the last two episodes or the two.
Yeah, and Maz wanted us to highlight his notable predictions that he had, and I was like, bro, you're not here. You gotta highlight your own stuff. We ain't gonna do it for you, but we'll do it because this is his first time missing it. But Jay, how you been, man? What's going on with you?
I've been good, man. Just a lot of schoolwork. I know you're in the same class, and you got to do that 60-minute or 60-second project, whatever. I did it already, but I've been good, man. Just living my life, man. Bless another day, man.
Yeah, college life can be pretty stressful, but man, doing this podcast is great. Love doing it every week, and let's just hop right into it, man. So First up, NFL news came out today out of Tampa. Tom Brady retired, 44-year-old quarterback after a career year, after a 5,300-yard season, 46 touchdowns, 12 picks, called it quits after the divisional loss to the Los Angeles Rams. There was a plethora of media hype surrounding a possible Tom Brady retirement. Schefter tweeted out a few days ago, Tom Brady squashed it real quick. And now the announcement came out today. Tom Brady finally came to a decision, and it's over. So what a career for Tom Brady, man. I mean, 20 seasons with New England. He got 6 Super Bowls, 3 MVPs, 3 All-Pros, 5-time Super Bowl MVP. Went to Tampa. First year, won Super Bowl 54 with the Bucs, beat Mahomes and the Chiefs. Just absolutely unbelievable career. And Jay, I just want to let you know, how do you feel about this news breaking?
Yeah, man. I mean, when Adam Schefter reported it, I was like, wow, is this real? And then Tom Brady's camp came out and said that nothing was solidified, nothing was official. So I was wondering where that news came from. How did Adam get those reports if the Buccaneers didn't hear from him? Yeah, I was shocked, man. But then today I was at school driving home. Now I got home, I put up my ESPN report, and I was like, "Oh, Tom Brady officially calls it quits." And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like Tom Brady, he's a quarterback that, he's a player that most teams, most fans, hate because people are tired of seeing him in the Super Bowl. But you have to respect the man for what he's done. 7 Super Bowls, 7 rings. The man was going to come out and do it another year at 45. So, but I've been watching The Man in the Arena, awesome documentary. Really pulls out Tom Brady's toughness, and gotta tip my hat off to him, man. And it's gonna feel weird to watch football next year without him in the league. It's gonna feel kind of awkward.
I'm 19 years old. I know no NFL without Tom Brady. It's very weird. It's gonna be a weird feeling not seeing him out there every Sunday. But he's a 44-year-old guy. He's a 14-year-old son. Probably missed the majority of his life because he's been going out there every day and practice, film study, all that. And
yeah, but
just to be the best, he's got to do all that.
I kind of knew because this retirement announcement was kind of for real because he could have retired 5 years ago if he wanted to, but I think this one felt more surreal because he really factored in his family, his kids. And I went on social media. I posted a little post, and I was really Tom Brady is going into the second chapter of his life, just like Kobe did. Eventually, when you're a top athlete, Father Time catches up to you. And not saying he still probably had a lot of play left in him, but just the fact that he said his wife is worried about him getting hit, getting injured, and plus him, like you said, missing games with his family. So I feel like this was a more like sincere, like real announcement, and I'm excited to see like the man had nothing to lose at the end of the day. Like best quarterback of all time, probably in the NFL. I heard he's eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2027, so he definitely has a seat at Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, that's gonna be a crazy draft class. You got Brady. You're gonna have Roethlisberger. I'm pretty sure. Well, it's not been official yet, but you got to assume Gronk's gonna retire as well, just because Brady's gone now. So you're gonna have a Hall of Fame class of Brady, Roethlisberger, and Gronk, which that should be really good 2027. But back to your point, Jay. I mean, Tom Brady, his stamp on the game cannot be understated. We all thought that throughout the years it was, he was carried by Belichick. Belichick was the brains behind the operation, and Tom Brady was sort of just the system quarterback placed at the helm that made it go. Well, Tom Brady left for Tampa. We all thought, now we get to see what Tom Brady really is outside the Patriots system. And he just went on and won another Super Bowl and just showed how great he is at age 43. Tom Brady, even past 40, is probably a Hall of Fame career. Just past the age of 40, which is crazy. So Tom Brady, a 7-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time MVP, 3-time All-Pro, the greatest of all time. No one else even comes close, and we're just wishing him best of luck.
Yeah, a lot of
rest
people.
Of his life.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that like when he left Belichick, because a lot of fans were saying, a lot of sports fans were saying that, since Tom Brady was under Coach Bill Belichick's wing for all those years, that going to another team, he wasn't going to win the championship. Well, he proved it with the Buccaneers. Like he proved that he doesn't need like a Belichick to win a championship, and I'm telling you, like, if you haven't watched that documentary, like, I'm on episode 3 or 4, but like teams should model. I know it's hard with the cap space and everything, and the luxury tax, but teams should model like the Patriots. Like, I've gained so much more respect for Tom Brady from watching that documentary, like of him with Bledsoe as a quarterback at the time, and then him getting hurt, and then Tom Brady stepping up. And I had a question, do you think that, because at the time Bledsoe was about to get that major contract at $10 million, like that, he was about to be the highest paid quarterback at the time. So do you think if Bledsoe didn't get hurt, do you think Tom Brady would have been, who he is today? Because
the Patriots system, I think, definitely molded him. I don't think he would have been where he is without it.
But he was mad because,
you can't understate that he is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, of course.
He's done it. I think even with Mac Jones. Look at Mac Jones. I mean, he's been in this Patriot system for one season, and he's already sort of molding himself into a top-tier quarterback in this league that could definitely go out and win you a championship maybe 3 or 4 years down the line. But Tom Brady, he started his career behind Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe, by no stretch of the imagination, is a bad quarterback. Drew Bledsoe is a fantastic quarterback. He took the Patriots to a Super Bowl back in, I think, 1996. Lost to the Packers and Brett Favre. So Drew Bledsoe was a great quarterback coming in. And there was conversations after Tom Brady's big run at the beginning of the season. Do they put Drew Bledsoe back in? Tom Brady ended up just saying, Tom Brady kept playing well. Belichick just decided to keep Tom Brady in. The rest is history. Went on to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. So Tom Brady definitely was a generational talent, as we all know. Definitely one of the best football minds that we've ever seen. And I think being in that Patriot system definitely elevated it to another level than what he had already been at. So Tom Brady definitely deserves everything he's gotten. Great career. And we're going to start heading up to our next story.
I got one more question before. Do you see Tom Brady in the next couple of years being like obviously like football will always be a part of his life?
He's done. Nothing.
No, I'm saying, do you think like him being a coach or like an
Nope,
assistant
nothing.
coach or
He's
anything?
done.
Nothing.
He's already said that he doesn't want to do any coaching, no maybe he said he'll consider doing like what John Elway does, like a VP of football operations, do like a GM role, maybe front office. But he said he doesn't want to do any coaching, no broadcasting. I think it's pretty much it. And you know what? Generally, the goats of sports don't do much after their careers. Like, I mean, Jordan is he owns the Hornets for a reason. I mean, he's got all that money, so he decided to own a team. But like, Kobe was doing nothing but like running basketball camps and running his business. Like, just think about all those guys who have just been goats at their positions and they just don't do anything else with the rest of their lives, which is understandable because you put so much time into an effort as a player to be the best. You just want to live the rest of your life, which I understand. So now we're going to move on to our second story in the NFL segment. Brian Flores, former Miami Dolphins coach, is suing the NFL and 3 other franchises. The Miami Dolphins, the team he formerly coached for, the Denver Broncos, and the New York Giants. And he's suing them over a discrimination case. He's suing Denver and New York based on their not interviewing him. He never got an interview, and he's saying that it was racially motivated while he was not interviewed. And he's suing Miami just for the firing that happened last month that under the administration. And Jay, I know you when we pitched this story right after it broke, you were very adamant about this story getting on, and I want to just let you go off real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised because like the NFL, if you look at the NFL now, there's only one current black coach in Mike Tomlin at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think there's any African American coaches in GM roles. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The Bears just hired a African American GM, I think.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, it sucks, man, because he, I mean, he had an okay season. Like, he went 9-8 this year. I think he was overall 24-25 with his record. But I was looking at in social media, and there was a post where him and Belichick were texting, and I think they signed Dabble.
The Giants hired Dabble, and I think Belichick thought he was texting Dabble saying like congratulations on getting the Giants gig when he was texting Brian Flores, which it's kind of weird how he out of all the people he could have texted to say congratulations on getting a head coaching gig, he texted the other guy who was going out for it. Kind of seems like Bill Belichick's back up to his games, but Jay, go back to him.
Yeah, when I first saw the story, I mean, it's similar to like the Colin Kaepernick because like he took a stance for what he believed in, and he doesn't have a job right now. But a lot of people are saying this class act lawsuit possibly this can be Flores' last opportunity to coach. But that shouldn't. I mean, in my opinion, that shouldn't be the case because like I feel like he should get an opportunity. I feel like, but the NFL, I mean, it came out responding to Flores saying that, oh, we believe in equity. And I don't believe any of that because if you look at the stats, like there are, like I said, one black coach. And there are several coaches out there, like the Lions coach who was like 1-17. He should have been fired and replaced. But you're going to fire somebody. And also I heard that the coach or the GM offered to pay $100,000 per loss for them to tank. And Brian didn't take it. So they were trying to throw him under the bus, man. So
here's the thing that I want to talk about in regards to African American coaching. The Rooney Rule.
Yeah, the Rooney Rule. Yep.
The Rooney Rule is, you guys may know, is a rule that the NFL put in place after the Steelers hired Mike Tomlin. Art Rooney, the owner of the Steelers, was the one who hired Tomlin. And it basically says that during the head coaching interviewing process, the front office needs to interview one African American coach to, get interviewed, has to be interviewed in the process. Problem is, I just see many teams just flat out they interview the one guy and they don't even consider him just to go by that rule, which it's kind of wrong. It's very neglectful. There's so many great African American coaches out there, And if you're just sort of I got to get past this quota and not even give them a look just because I need to follow the quota and not have a class action lawsuit filed against me, you're basically spitting in these guys' faces. You're acting like they don't have a shot. You're just bringing them in just because they're like a charity case, which is wrong. Which I love the Rooney Rule. I think it's very, very helpful. I think more black NFL coaches need to get interviewed for these head coaching gigs. But when you're using the Rooney Rule just to check a checkbox, it's not serving the purpose. You're really just sort of using it just to get by. Jay, I mean, what do you say about that?
Yeah, so for before welcome to the show, Matt. I think is your audio working, man?
Can you hear me?
It's a little bad, but we'll do what we got.
Yeah, so yeah.
How about now?
It's kind of like you're on speakerphone, man. It's like kind of like
They get a little closer.
There you go.
It's a little better. No, yeah, I was saying that so what in the lawsuit that he filed, he was basically saying that you got these. I mean, he didn't say it in a lawsuit, but and I quote, he was technically saying that you had these white owners who are sitting up in the luxury suites, join the games, while you had the minorities, black players, black coaches fighting for their lives every given Sunday, and how your which I think black African Americans take up 70% of the NFL players, and you're letting these owners sit up there making the money, and the black players are helping them make money and making them millions. So I mean, he's all about equality, about and I don't know, knowing how the NFL works. I mean, it sucks to say, but I don't know. I want him to coach again, but many people are saying that this lawsuit is gonna tamper his coaching, for which is messed up because he's speaking for what he believes in. So
he's speaking the truth.
Right? He's speaking the truth. So
yeah,
Matt, what do you think?
Here's the thing: when I thought about the Flores firing,
yeah.
Initially, I was baffled because I saw it and I go, "Why are they firing this guy?" I get it; they had a bad start to the season; they started 1-7, but he brought him all the way back and got him within one game of being a playoff team. So, even though he had a bad start, he was able to rebound. He's making Tua look a lot better. He originally, I heard stories that he didn't want to draft Tua. He was on Herbert, which the front office wanted Tua, and that's what happened. So he's had many disagreements with the front office, and that's sort of the reason why he got fired. Still don't understand why he would be fired for that, just because he's been having such a good track record over these last 2 seasons. And that's when I started even thinking right then, maybe there was a racial component into his firing. His firing did come out of the blue, and it seemed like the GM and the owner really didn't want him there in the first place. And Matt, what do you believe in that?
Yeah, I have to agree, but first of all, is the audio better?
Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. All right, so my initial reaction, I was shocked because, as you guys said, I didn't believe that Brian Flores deserved to be fired in the first place. He did miss the playoffs the last few seasons, but he's 24 and 25. How many white coaches do we know who have had just as bad or not, or even worse records, who got to keep their jobs for decades and years upon years upon years? And I was looking at an article. I forgot who wrote it. It is not coming to my memory. But as Jordan mentioned, I seen an article where it was talking about the perspective of players. It's the NFL is ran like a plantation. How minorities are putting their bodies on the line, and the owners are on a luxurious, area, fancy food, all that stuff in the press box, and they're watching these minorities put their bodies on the line. I understand that perspective, even though I slightly disagree because these black players are still getting paid millions of dollars, so it's not quite exactly the same. They're still getting paid for their job, but this is definitely an issue going across the NFL with the hiring of black coaches and executives. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's like one or two black coaches left now since the firing of
It's
Brian
just
Flores. I
Tomlin
think it's
left.
only
I think it's
Mike
one Tomlin.
It was
Yeah.
Brian Flores. Yeah, just Tomlin. Right. It's just Tomlin now.
I mean, Saleh, he's
so
like
it's definitely
Muslim,
an
so
issue
I don't think
because,
he. Yeah. Yeah, I think Saleh, he's on the
right.
Jets.
And then you got
too.
Ron Rivera, who's his
Like,
right. So this is definitely an issue that there needs to be more. Like you guys spoke about the Rooney Rule. They do have to interview at least one minority for a position. And like you, Anthony stated, you can tell because I read the article. It said that he's accusing him of just interviewing him, knowing the entire time that he had no chance of getting the job. So they're trying to skate by the rule. They're trying to just say, "Oh yeah, we interviewed a black person," with no intention of actually hiring him, and that's just wasting. Why would you waste somebody's time like that? Why would you bring him in to do that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was saying I did this story for my assignment for my class, and like I was an article on Instagram or on ESPN, and the Giants made a statement saying that they did consider Brian Flores, but they said at the last hour they chose Dabble because he met the requirements. Okay, so
they didn't even interview Flores. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. So what do they mean at the 11th hour, the last hour? I mean. And what qualities does Dabble have compared to Flores? Like,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Dabble's a great coach. He was the offensive coordinator of the Bills. The Bills were one of the best offenses in football this year. So we're not knocking Dabble in any sense of the word. It's just that the hiring of him without even considering Flores just seems shady. So Jay, keep going. Where you going?
Yeah, I was just saying that, like, they scheduled that interview with Flores, but then come to find out that they hired Dabble like 3 days after like they talked to him. So it's kind of like think about the real world. Like how would you feel if you got like interviewed for a job? I don't know, like a top I don't know, for a boss position, right? And like you're qualified, but then sorry, we hired someone else because he's more qualified, like or because of the color of my skin, or like I don't know if that's the case, but there's a reason why Flores is filing this case. There has to be a reason why he's filing this lawsuit, and it's kind of shedding the light on the hiring process of the NFL. And like the NFL, like there's some athletes, some players that I know, some friends I know that are not going to support the NFL until they change some of these things. Like even my dad. Like he used to be a big NFL watcher. He don't watch the NFL because after what Colin Kaepernick, the whole situation. So like, it's all like messed up.
Yeah, something's got
right.
And oh, sorry, Matt. You go first.
Definitely. No, I was saying I looked up when he actually got hired. He was hired February 4th of 2019. So this man had 2 seasons, and they get rid of him. When he may have not made the playoffs, but he was in at least playoff contention. He at least had them relevant towards the end of the regular season. So this is just completely messed up and uncalled for. And I see why he's suing, because that's the only reason I can think of is skin color. Because like I said, he had them in playoff contention. Ever since he's got there, they've improved from what they once were before. It's just really sad to see in this day and age.
Yeah, I mean they fired Cully too on the Houston. He was one of the players. I mean,
and he didn't even have that bad of a season considering what Houston was going through. Houston was projected to have 2 wins. He ended up getting I think it was 4 or 5 wins with them. So Cully's firing was a little weird. I think they were saying that he was sort of just a 1-year buffer before they were to hire someone else, which. Why would you waste Cully's time moving him all the way to Houston, up through his life, go to Houston just to play, coach 1 season and then fire him no matter what the outcome was? I thought Cully was way out of line as well. So Flores has been fired, and now he's not even being considered. It's definitely a little shady, and we're going to see more when this lawsuit actually unfolds. So moving forward, we're going to talk about the crazy conference championship Sunday that came out of the NFL. We're going to do our little 2-game recap that we usually do. First game was a 3:00 AFC championship game. Cincinnati Bengals came into Kansas City They were, I think, a 7-point underdog coming in. No one really gave him a chance. Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey. That defense with Chris Jones was starting to fire back up. They had Tyrann Mathieu back. Cincinnati was a little coming in off a nice little win against the Titans. And what a game. I just got to say that. Cincinnati upsets Kansas City 27-24 in overtime. Joe Burrow, 23 of 38, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Mahomes, 26 of 39, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Bengals get the W. Bengals heading to the Super Bowl, first time since 1988. So, Jordan, what did you think of this game?
I'm gonna be honest, because the Chiefs were spanking them, and I just kind of conked out and fell asleep. Then I woke up, and I was like, "Whoa, this game is crazy!" Burrow's marching down the field, Mixon running up the field. Man, Burrow's Joe Shiesty, man. That dude.
That's what they call it. It's cold, cold as ice.
He's a dangerous man. Just like Stephen A. Smith, he's a bad man.
That's a fine. No Stephen A. Smith. Come on.
Man, that's bullcrap, man. Come on. Give me some slack. That was on point. But thinking he is a bad man.
You got to come up with your own thing, though. Come up with your own
man
thing.
coming in with Cartier glasses on,
smoking stoves on the sideline, bro.
Yeah. But towards the end, they were blitzing Mahomes. He was doing some freaky plays. Threw an interception to a lineman. Had a I don't know what he was doing. He was trying to went back a couple yards. Then he tripped and he threw out of bounds. And then that key stop by Eli Apple with Tyreek Hill made that stop. And then the rookie kicker McPherson kicked the game winner. So yeah, that was a good game. Matt, what do you think about that, man?
Yeah, Matt backed out. A little technical difficulties we're having with Matt today. But overall, this game was really back and forth. I missed most of the first quarter. I was at the mall, which I have a funny story about that mall. We might hit on that later, but we'll talk about that later. But
is that the story you told me yesterday?
Yeah, it's the story I told you yesterday. Maybe we'll talk about it on the podcast later on once we're done with everything. But I missed most of the first quarter. I was catching in and out of the second quarter. Finally, I watched the whole third quarter, whole fourth quarter, and all of overtime. I was able to watch, and it was just really close in every sense of the word. I think Joe Burrow plays hard out. He had that one crucial interception towards the end of the game, and we all thought, oh boy, this is where the Chiefs, pull out their magic, go to another Super Bowl, the third in a row. And I gotta say, I'm pretty proud of the NFL fan base community. I feel like every fan base sort of just came together just so the Chiefs wouldn't win. Everyone was rooting for Joe Shiesty. But third quarter, the Chiefs were up 21-10 at the half. Evan McPherson hits a field goal with 2 minutes 58 left in the third quarter. So it was 21-10 with 3 minutes left in the third. And you weren't crazy if you thought that Cincinnati wasn't coming back in this game. Joe Burrow got them in a position to win this game. He was moving the ball on that Chiefs defense the entire second half. They had no answer for Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was ripping up that run defense in the fourth quarter. Mahomes had probably one of the worst second halves of football I've seen. I think he had a 12 QBR in that second half. Just abysmal. I think he threw 2 picks. And then the game got to overtime. Harrison Butker hit a 44-yard field goal. And then we got to overtime. The coin toss was about to start. And we were like, oh, please. Don't let the Chiefs get the coin toss again. Go right down the field and do it for a second week in a row. They got the coin toss, and we all go, here we go. It's going to happen again for the second straight week. Chiefs get the ball. Third play of the drive, 13 seconds in the overtime. What a parallel to 13 seconds in the overtime, like the 13 seconds he had against the Bills. Mahomes throws the interception to Von Bell. Bengals run a few plays. Evan McPherson lined up for 31 yards, drills it, sends the Bengals to the Super Bowl. As a Ravens fan, me and you, Jay, it sucks because the Bengals are a division rival. You never want to see your division rival succeed like that. But even though I am a Ravens fan, I love Joe Burrow, man. He is just so entertaining to watch. He's got a great personality. And even though he's got a little bit of that cockiness to him, you could tell he's just a great leader, silent leader, tells what like he leads by example. Guys love to follow him. They would go into battle with him. They know that they'll get the best out of him whenever he goes out there. Matt, you saw the game. What did you like from it?
Man, that game, these playoffs have been spectacular, man. Like every round of divisional championship, we have been getting some really excellent football. But I originally had the Chiefs winning in a close game. It did play out kind of how I thought it would. I didn't expect Mahomes to play that poorly in the second half, as you mentioned, Anthony. But let me start by saying this. Joe Burrow, I said this weeks ago. Joe Burrow is that dude. Joe Burrow, even in his rookie year before he got injured, he was having an absolute amazing rookie season before he got injured. They were starting to win games. He was coming along. He was in a groove. And then obviously that injury came. He was out for the rest of the season. So he's been that guy. At LSU had the best statistical college season for a quarterback we've ever seen. So he's been this guy for a minute now. We're just seeing it on this stage manifest. You know what I'm saying? So Joe Burrow, he played lights out. The game, I thought it would be high scoring. I forgot what my score was originally, but it was close. I think I had the Chiefs 31-27, if I'm not mistaken. Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs got off to an excellent start, as you said. What were they up? 21-3, you said?
They were up 21-10, but I think they were up 21-3.
I forgot how much they were.
Yeah.
21-10.
Yeah.
Right. 21-10 at halftime. So I thought, I didn't think it would be a blowout at that point. I knew Burrow would make some plays and get them back into the game, which is what happened. But I am shocked that the Cincinnati Bengals defense bothered Patrick Mahomes that much in the second half. They came in having full momentum. They were on pace to blow them out. And then Patrick Mahomes, that first interception cost them Cincinnati. They come back and score. And then he throws a second pick, which is so out of character for Patrick Mahomes, because he's usually the one that puts on these comeback performances against other great quarterbacks and franchises. So to see him play that poorly in the second half, you got to give credit to the Cincinnati Bengals pass rush. They were able to get Mahomes off his spots, even though Mahomes is familiar with being on the run. He's one of the better quarterbacks that plays under duress against the blitz. For whatever reason, he was just not he was not playing to the level that we expect him to play at. I think he tried to do too much, because I saw so many plays where Mahomes could have just ran for a first down, but he decided that he wanted to run in circles, try to extend the play for a longer period of time, and most of the time that didn't work out for him. He would end up getting sacked, and that sack when they were in the red zone, when Patrick Mahomes and I think it was the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, the fourth quarter with a few minutes left. When he took that crucial sack that made them take that field goal, I was like, come on, Patrick Mahomes. You've done this before. You've been in the playoffs. You've won a Super Bowl. You could not afford to take that sack in that stage of the game when you're in their red zone. Like, he was literally 20, 30 yards away from taking a lead, and he was doing too much running around in circles, like I stated, and he got sacked. But you got to give credit to the defense. Joe Burrow, he plays amazing against it doesn't matter how many times he gets sacked. It doesn't matter if he's losing. Joe Burrow finds a way to get it done in big games in clutch moments. He is really that guy. He's been doing it for a long time, honestly.
Yeah, just like yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals. When they signed this guy in the offseason, everyone was slamming it. They gave him, I think it was a 6-year, $60 million contract, and everyone's like, why would you give that much to just a third down edge rusher? This guy has come to play this season. He's a Pro Bowler, which he won't be playing the Pro Bowl. But that whole game against the Chiefs, I was watching him. That guy has a motor. There was a play where Mahomes probably scrambled for a good 8 seconds, and Hendrickson was on him the entire time. That's the reason, like you said, Matt, that Bengals defense bottled up Mahomes in that second half, and a big reason because of it was that pass rush. And Jay, go what you were saying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just like you said, about us being Ravens fans, and It sucks that Burrows is in the playoffs, but we're not. But I really gotta I'm really gaining my respect for Joe Burrow, because he's very, like I said in the other pocket, he's very cool, calm, and collected, in the media, and with Big Ben retired and Baker Mayfield kind of finding his way. I feel like Lamar Jackson and Burrow that's going to be the new matchup of next year, in the AFC North.
Hey,
I feel
Jay,
like
that's a fine.
how's that a fine? How's that
There's
a
no
fine?
context to that. You can't be bringing up Lamar. And we're talking about Joe Burrow. We're talking about the team. Come on.
Joe Burrow.
There's no Lamar in this. Nah. Come on, it's a fine. You have to.
Whatever. I'll take the fine because I'm gonna claim myself. I mean, but think about it. Since Big Ben is out, they don't have a quarterback. Baker Mayfield with the Browns kind of having a little, I don't know, kind of iffy. I feel like the new matchup is going to be in the AFC. It's going to be Lamar and Burrows. I mean, that's the new matchup when Lamar gets healthy. I mean, we had little examples of it this year with the two games, but that might be the new rivalry, the Bengals and Ravens, man. It was the Bengals, Ravens, and Steelers, but I feel like with these young quarterbacks, I mean, I feel like with Mahomes, Lamar, Burrows, and the AFC is going to be stacked for the years to come.
And Herbert and Josh Allen. You forgot those guys.
Oh, Josh Allen too, yeah. So I mean, I don't know why I'm getting that fine, but I mean, I made a point.
Lamar wasn't in the story whatsoever, and you made him a part of it. That's our fine. Remember, we always say you bring up Lamar.
At the fines, man.
It's always when Jay gets the fines, not fine.
See, Matt is probably watching this
he's ready to hand us fines, but he don't want to take one.
Matt is probably watching the show
Oh, Maz is dying right now. Maz is probably laughing. Maz is probably going to give us a text in the next few minutes.
Oh, man. But no, I mean,
right, but
I had to give my flowers to Joe Burrow, man, doing his thing. Let's see if they can carry it to the promised land, man. Let's see.
All right, but one more thing you guys
say. Yeah, I'm going to say real quick. Yeah, I'm going to just talk about Joe Burrow. I know I stated before on previous shows just how poised he is for only being in his second season. I mean, it's just amazing to see how calm and collected, even when he's under duress against the Titans defense. Well, when the Chiefs defense was getting after him, he hangs in the pocket. He takes those licks. He's not afraid to step up in the pocket, deliver accurate balls to his receivers. And he did redshirt as a freshman. And I think those few extra years in college is paying off now because he does not look like a second-year quarterback at all. He's just playing phenomenal.
All right, yeah. Joe Burrow gets the Bengals their first Super Bowl appearance since 1988. But then the next game on the slate on Championship Sunday was the NFC Championship game, the 49ers, Rams, an NFC West battle. It was a very low-scoring game for the first quarter. No score the entire first quarter. Then it was back and forth for a little bit. Third quarter, the 49ers got up to a 10-point lead after a George Kittle 16-yard touchdown. But then the 49ers and Kyle Shanahan once again blows another lead in the playoffs. Man makes a habit of it as the Rams beat the 49ers and win the NFC 20-17. Matt, I'm going to go to you first.
Yeah, this was another good one, a low-scoring game. In this game, I did have the Rams winning. I forgot what score I said previously, but I did have the Rams winning in a close game. The 49ers stuck around. They pretty much did how I thought they would. I wasn't expecting much from Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't have his stats in front of me, but he played just about as well or as bad per se as I thought he would. Matt Stafford is balling. He is a man on a mission. I would say he had the most pressure coming into these playoffs because Rams gave up all their future picks just to get this man. They went all in on Matt Stafford, and we knew what the situation was when they let go of Goff. We knew that they were on a mission to get an elite quarterback, an elite talent quarterback who they feel like could take them to the promised land, and that's what they have done. I think the acquisition of Odell Beckham has been a great thing for this team. He had over 100 yards, has been a great second option since Robert Woods has been injured. So I mean, not Robert Woods. What was that? Who was that? Was it Robert Woods that got injured?
You're right.
Robert Woods, right. Yeah, Robert Woods who got injured. He's been playing very well. Cooper Kupp had another. What Cooper Kupp was going to do at this point? He's just uncoverable. Whether you double team him or not, he just finds different ways to affect the game. Whether you put him on a slot, whether you put him on the outside, he can catch balls in the numbers, between the numbers, outside the hashes, touchdowns. Like whatever you need Cooper Kupp to do, he can do it. The Rams defense, both teams' defenses really came to play. They were holding things down. I was nervous when the 49ers went into halftime with that lead because Matt Stafford seemed like he was playing well as far as statistics, like completions, pass rating, but he wasn't getting into the end zone. He was gaining a lot of yards, but there was empty possessions.
Don't forget, all those receivers were dropping balls too. He must have had like 4 drops in that first half. There was that one in the end zone. Cooper Kupp dropped one, which was rare to see. A lot of drops.
Right. No, that's accurate. There were many drops. So as a team, they just weren't coming up with the plays that they usually make to get into the end zone. So that did worry me. But they fought through it. The Rams defense held them to 7 points in the third and held them to 0 points in the fourth quarter. The Rams outscored the 49ers 13-0 in the fourth quarter. And Matt Stafford just handled business and just made big plays. Odell Beckham showed up because he had one-on-one coverage now that Cooper has most of the attention. They didn't really run the ball as much as I thought they would coming into this game, but they got it done.
All right, Jay, what did you see?
Yeah, I mean, another good game. So Matt Stafford, the Rams brought him in to get to where they are now. I mean, look at he went 31 for 45, 337 yards, with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. I mean, Cam Akers had 13 carries for 48 yards, average 3.7. So I mean, I'm really happy for Odell Beckham though because he's been through a lot this season, getting traded from the Browns. They thought that bigger was a problem, and he proved that to people that like he's had several touchdowns on the Rams since joining them from the Browns. So like I'm very happy for him to get maybe potentially get in the ring. But Jimmy, like that I don't know what he was doing with that pick, man. I don't know what he was kind of reminding of that Mahomes play, just running off his back foot, running around scrambling and just throwing it randomly. That's how it got picked off. But yeah, I mean, and plus they're going to be at their home turf for the Super Bowl, so I mean, it works out for them. So yeah, it was another good game.
Yeah, you talk about that 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 Garoppolo interception at the end of the game and saying it was Mahomes. Like it was more Carson Wentz. Like we've seen Carson Wentz do those interceptions a lot this year. A lot of I
don't know how he got that pass off anyway. I don't know how.
I get what he's trying to do. He was trying to avoid the sack, which you got to do in that situation. But I don't know what he was trying to do with that pass. It was beyond my knowledge.
I got a.
There you go.
I got a question for both of y'all. So, do you guys view Matt Stafford as an elite quarterback now? Because I know at first we viewed him as an elite talent, but do you feel that he has reached I don't think he's as an elite quarterback, especially if he wins this?
I don't think he's elite. I still think he's definitely in that top 12, top 13
top
range.
10 for sure.
I don't know. Not top 10. There's a lot of great quarterbacks now.
There is.
And it's only one season with the Rams. Like he only can't really.
I think he's definitely in like a top 12, top 13 right now. I wouldn't put I think to classify as an elite quarterback, you need to be like a top 5 quarterback. That's what I consider elite. So I don't think Stafford's in that top 5, okay. So I wouldn't consider him elite right now.
But I also don't consider him elite. I have him in that very good category.
Yes, that's exactly what
similar to maybe like Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck when he was playing. You know what I'm saying? I have him in that very good category.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't put him as an elite yet because I mean it's still early. Like he's still like it's his first season with the Rams. Maybe my my decision would change once he gets a ring. But I don't know because I don't think you can blame it on Matt because he had Megatron in Detroit. He had a couple good players, but like you can't really blame it all on him for the players that he had. But like I don't know. I mean, I would place him like where Ant said, like in the top like 13, like in that tier. Like I feel like to be an elite quarterback, you have to have like a good record. I mean, you have to be able to I mean, obviously he's brought his team to where he's at now, and that's why the Rams brought him in. But I feel like I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like maybe our answer would change after he won the Super Bowl. Maybe put him in that tier, that elite tier. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. One more thing before we move off this game is just Deebo Samuel's production this season.
It's been
just a heartbreaking end of the season. He was doing it all today.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
He had 4 receptions, 72 yards on a touchdown. That touchdown in the second quarter, that 44-yarder, he got on a little screen route. He must have made like 6 guys miss. Unbelievable play on that run after the catch. That was Jimmy's one of his 2 touchdowns, and he really didn't do anything on that touchdown. So you could pretty much throw that touchdown on the board. That was pretty much all Deebo Samuel. He had 7 carries for 26 yards as well. Deebo Samuel has definitely been, outside of Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor, probably a top 3 weapon in the game this year. Because Jonathan Taylor's just been the best running back. I think Cooper Kupp's been the best receiver. Deebo Samuel's done both, and he's done both at a high level. So Deebo Samuel's definitely had a really good season. Sucks that he didn't get a chance to play in the Super Bowl this year. He had a great game. Just give your flowers at Deebo Samuel. Matt, one more thing, we're going to move on.
Yeah, no, I have to give. I'm glad you said that. I can't believe I forgot to mention Deebo Samuel, man. He had an unbelievable season, an unbelievable game. He's big. In certain moments, it felt like the 49ers offense was Deebo Samuel's or bust. You know what I'm saying? Like he can do everything. Catch up the backfield, catch between the numbers. He could be in the slot outside. And he runs the running back. He doesn't, those receivers who they use in running plays, but they don't really run like running backs. I saw him take a lot of hits. I saw him shed a lot of tackles, put his head down, pick up crucial first downs when they needed to. I got to give a lot of credit to Deebo Samuel. He's definitely he's been a top 5 weapon this season. And his Madden rating deserves to go up. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah. So Rams punched their ticket to the Super Bowl the second time in 4 years under Sean McVay. And that brings us to our last football topic of the night. We're going to do what so it's 2 weeks to the Super Bowl. We're going to record 2 episodes till the Super Bowl. This one and our next Tuesday's episode. And we're going to give 2 predictions. This is going to be our prediction number 1. So we're going to do a little bit of a round table here. Who we think is going to win Super Bowl 55. Who do you think can be the main producers in this game? What's going to be the edge factor? I'm going to go Jay first. Rams, Bucks. Not Rams, Bucks. Rams, Bengals. What do you think, Jay?
Rams, Bengals. So I think it's going to be the Rams because they have a kind of an advantage of being at home. And I think it's going to be the X factor going to be Odell Beckham, and another X factor on offense. Then another X factor on is probably going to be the 2 Aaron Donald and Ramsey on defense. I think the announcers during the Bengals Chiefs game said that the Bengals have kind of like a subpar O line, not that good of an O line. So I feel like Donald's going to like rush them, he can push anybody off that line. But I feel it's going to be 30 to 24 Rams.
All right, so Jay's got the Rams. I'm going to go to Matt second. I'll do mine last.
Okay, this is going to be another good game. My heart is telling me the Rams, and my mind is telling me the Bengals. And I've seen Joe Burrow do it over and over again, big in these games. But as of right now, I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams. Let's just say for right now, I'm going to say 28-24 Rams. I did have Odell being an X factor, but since Jordan chose him, I'm going to mention two other players that I think are going to be crucial in this game. Number one being Matt Stafford. Obviously, the quarterback is the most important position on the field. He gets to decide who he throws to. And it depends on what Matt Stafford you get, because we saw stretches this season, in the regular season, I should say, where he was off, where he was, I think he had like 8 interceptions to 3 touchdowns over like a 7-game period or something like that in the regular season. He had definitely had an extent where he was throwing more interceptions than touchdowns. So if Matt Stafford is off, if he plays like the Detroit Lions Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow is going to definitely use that as an advantage, and he's going to put up points. And I don't know if Matt Stafford, if he's off, will be able to outscore Joe Burrow, because the Cincinnati Bengals defense is no joke. No joke. They got Vaughn at safety. They got those their defensive ends are beasts. They don't have any superstar names per se, but they have a lot of quality high first, second, and third round picks on the defensive side of the ball, and we know what their offense is capable of. So Matt Stafford, he's definitely a key factor. And then secondly, I would say Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald would be my key factor on the defensive end, because we've seen Joe Burrow be under duress, but no one's been able to get to him. He's taking, don't get me wrong, but he's breaking so many tackles. He's extended so many plays. No one has been able to consistently keep him on the ground. And I think Aaron Donald and that Rams defense has the star power and potential to make it really, this is going to be the Joe Burrow's toughest challenge, because not only do you have to worry about Aaron Donald and Von Miller with the edge rush, since Aaron Donald gets double teamed on almost every play, that opens up things for the defensive tackle. That opens up for them to get their pass rush. So now you have to worry about not only the pass rush coming from the outside, from the edges rather, but you have to worry about that interior rush getting through as well, because Aaron's going to be doubled. So Aaron Donald is my key factor on the defensive end, and then Matt Stafford, I want to see what he's able to do.
Yeah, you guys bring up very good points about the Rams, but I bet against the Bengals last week with the Chiefs. I don't think I can do it again. These Bengals are red hot. Joe Burrow has been playing some of the best football I mean, I should say the best football he's ever played, because we saw him at LSU and he was unbelievable there. Joe Burrow just seems different. This Bengals team, the year before Burrow came to them, was 2-14. And in 2 years, Burrow's already taken them to the Super Bowl. This is one of the best turnarounds I've ever seen a franchise make in such little time. It starts with him. Him and Chase. They did it all on their own. Chase had quite possibly the best rookie receiving season I've ever seen. He's up there with Justin Jefferson, Randy Moss as the two, best rookie receiving seasons. That connection has been unbelievable. You saw that touchdown in the second half of the Chiefs game. They threw another little goal line fade to him, and he just sort of went up for it and got it. So Jamar Chase has definitely been a weapon. T. Higgins, another guy on that offense that has really come up huge in different spots. He's made clutch catch after clutch catch this season. I think they're going to be without C.J. Uzomah. I think he went down in the Chiefs game. But I do agree with you guys in the sense that that Bengals O-line is definitely a huge flaw within their offense, and it could be made, vulnerable by that insane Rams pass rush. But I think Joe Burrow can innovate it. You saw that one play where he was scrambling. He high-stepped Chris Jones on that play. He's shown that he can get out of situations like that. He could be a great scrambler. I mean, don't get me wrong, Aaron Donald's one of the best we've ever seen. But Joe Burrow, he's crafty. He definitely can work his way out of things and make a big-time throw when he needs to. The defense for the Bengals was the story of the second half, as we mentioned earlier. They shut down probably the most high-potent offense in the last few years in the Chiefs. And the Rams, in my eyes, even though they've won in games where they probably should have lost. The Rams have been making way too many mistakes, and it hasn't really bit them yet. They've gotten by in games where they really have not played well. That Bucs game, let's talk about that Bucs game real quick. That second half was not good. it was probably one of the worst halves I've ever seen a team play, that they still won the game. It was brutal to watch. In the 49ers game, they were down for a good majority of it. They make these they have these lapses in time when they're just not playing sharp. And finally, when you face a red hot team like this Bengals team that also knows how to come back, as we've seen against the Chiefs, I think the Bengals are going to win this game. And on the defensive side of the ball, you talked about Von Bell. You talked about we have to talk about him because he was a main storyline last week. Eli Apple, he was getting burned by Tyreek in that first half, but he was able to buckle down, drop the pick, but he made a huge goal line tackle. Trey Hendrickson. This Bengals defense is slept on big time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna go with the Rams. But I want to be like you said, and like you said, we have another show next week before the Super Bowl.
But I'm gonna give my score real quick. Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm taking the Bengals. It's gonna be a little high scoring. I'm gonna go Bengals 32, Rams 28. 32-28
yeah.
Bengals.
I still pick the Rams, but I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, like if the Bengals say if they're in like a deficit, like a deep deficit, like they were against the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if like they come back, and be an upset. So I could slap the Bengals next week for a win, but I wouldn't be surprised if they come back because like Joe Burrow has proven to me that in a playoff caliber, playoff run, he can come back. If I'm falling asleep during a game and I think it's boring, and I wake up and I see that another team is on a roll, like the Bengals, like that's saying something to me. That means this team can make a comeback and make a game interesting. So like, I'm still gonna go with the Rams for right now, but I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised for a Super Bowl upset.
Hey, this game should be good.
It's gonna be like this is probably the first Super Bowl where like they didn't really. This is the first Super Bowl that people didn't really expect Burrows or Matt Stafford to be in. What makes it so good? Like people thought it would be like Tom Brady or like the Chiefs.
This is the first Super Bowl since 2015 with no Mahomes or no Brady.
No
so
Brady.
It's refreshing to see a Super Bowl where you don't have the same guys every year. That's another problem I've had with the NFL. Like I don't want to keep watching Super Bowls. Thank God Brady's finally retired, so I don't have to watch Tom Brady in another freaking Super Bowl for the next 10 years. And then now we have Mahomes to worry about, but he's not going to be in there every year. But it should be a great game. It's going to be on February 13th, I believe. That's not this Sunday, next Sunday. So looking forward to that. But that should be it for our football segment. We don't have that many.
I just want to ask one.
What?
Oh no, I just wanted to say one thing real quick. I think Anthony, you made an excellent point. I think your best point that you made, your best argument was how you talked about how the Rams are prone to make crucial turnovers late in ball games, and it hasn't come to bite them in the back yet. So I'm gonna watch out for that. But there's one thing that you're forgetting, Ant. When you talked about Burrow and the pass rush, and I said this against when the Rams were playing the Buccaneers. Not only do you have to worry about that pass rush, Ant, you're forgetting Jalen Ramsey and their secondary. They're elite as well. So not only are you getting pressured, your receivers aren't getting open as often as they usually will. So it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be Burrow's biggest challenge to fight off that pressure and for his receivers to get open like they normally do. That's all I want to say.
All right. Well, that's a good analysis. It's gonna be tough for Burrow. I mean, it's a Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl 55. Looking forward to it in a few weeks. So now we're gonna move on to NBA. We don't have too many NBA stories tonight. It's a little bit of a dry week, as we say, for the NBA. All-Star games coming around the corner, but we have a few stories on the rap sheet. First thing we're gonna touch on is a little bit of a sad story, but also we gotta mention it. Kobe Bryant on January 26th, 2 years ago, passed away in a helicopter crash with his daughter Gianna, and it's been 2 years. Not today, but it came across 2 years throughout the week. So we just wanted to quickly touch upon that, and Jay really was adamant about getting this in there.
Yeah, really, because I know I think January 26th was a 2-year anniversary of the accident, and just to this day I still can't believe it. Just the mark that he made on the league and things he has done. It's sad, man, and like that 2-year anniversary just like hit me because like he's really like gone. Kobe was not just a national star; he's a global star. Everyone, everyone I know or everyone I've seen, no matter what country you're in, either has a Kobe Bryant jersey. Um, just a phenomenal player. It's just it sucks that he's not here. But just like just like LeBron said at his ceremony, I think a couple of days after it happened, he was just like, we have to move on and just like keep his legacy intact. So yeah, like it hit me the other day because like it was like dang, that really happened. So we all miss you, Kobe. Uh, Lakers are not doing well this year, but I don't know. We'll see if LeBron can do something.
Yeah,
Man,
Matt,
what do
do you
y'all
have
think?
anything
What do
about?
y'all think?
So Matt, you have anything you want to add about that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. First of all, just rest in peace to all the victims who died that day. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, Gigi.
Yeah,
I still can't believe it, man. I'm ever gonna forget that day when Kobe passed. Ever, man. I still can't really describe how like it feels, bro. It just feels crazy. Like it still doesn't even just saying the words Kobe died and just talking about referring to him in the past tense is like it's still weird. Um, but yeah, I remember when I first heard the news. I was at a restaurant with my family just eating, and then my aunt was on her phone and she looked up, and she knows I do sports, so the first thing her first words was she looked at me, and then she shared it to the whole table. She was just like, "Oh my gosh, Kobe died!" And when we first heard the news, we just couldn't believe it. Like I didn't even know what to say. Like I didn't even know how to feel. I couldn't think. I was like, "There's no way. It must be fake news. Someone is probably trying to get likes, or I don't know why. You know how people are on Twitter." But then as different reports started coming in, TMZ reported, seeing it pop up on the TV, and it was true, man. You just hate to see it, you hate to hear about it. And that 2020 that Lakers won that championship for Kobe. It might be my favorite championship I've ever watched ever. To see not only because yes, Rondo's my favorite player, was part of that team that did help me like it even more. But that's the fact that it was after Kobe's passing and Gianna's passing, all the stuff that they had to endure that season, the bubble, COVID, Kobe's death. The Lakers found a way to win a ring for Kobe and Gianna. And the game misses him. We all know how many people looked up to him, and he taught this generation that we're watching right now, the Jason Tatum, the Devin Booker, John Morant, Luka. Like Jordan said, he wasn't international, he was global, man, all over the world. China, it doesn't matter. Like everybody knew and loved Kobe, and I hate to see his life so short because he was doing great in his second field. I think he got a Oscar he won, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I just hate to hear about that, and I just hate that happened.
yeah. Like before Ann goes,
Right,
like the
yeah.
thing that really tears me up is
Rest in
just
peace, Kobe,
like
man.
yeah, like before Ann talks about it, like before like just the thing that really tears me up is like just like he was just about to start his second chapter of his life. Focus on his kids, supporting. I think he's gonna help support the WNBA because Gianna has some talent. Um, and I think they were going to a tournament. They're on their way, and like, yeah, rest in peace to all the 7 others that are on that plan as well. But it really tore me up because like he was really like like we really didn't see the father side of Kobe. We saw the player side, and we were just now seeing that side of him. Like we always knew he was a nice, genuine dude, player, but like off the court, like we all knew he was a family man, but we were just now like witnessing like him getting more involved with the WNBA, and even post his passing, like there's um I think they retired Gianna's number. I think for the draft. And it's like that's what really tore me up. It's about like him being not living not living up to his goals of obviously he got to the Hall of Fame, but like not being on the stage, giving that speech, being at the table, you know, it sucks, man. Like that's what really tore me up. Not being the father, he was set to be in this next chapter of his life. So
Yeah, so it, Kobe Bryant was one of the best ambassadors for the game ever. He was someone that people looked up to as the way you go about things. You put 110% into everything you do. You wake up early. You get to your if you're at a job, if you're an athlete, if you're doing anything, you get there early. You get as much done as you possibly can. You strive to be better every time you go out in whatever you do. And as you said, Jay, he was just starting the second phase of his life. He had so much more to give us, and he couldn't be around for it. And I know his family's still trying to move on with it, and the world's still trying to move on with it. And funny, not I shouldn't say the funny thing is, but the sad thing is the world really hasn't felt the same since he's left. You know what I mean? Right afterwards, that's when COVID pretty much started, and it's really it hasn't really stopped. It all started with that. But Matt, you made up a great point when you talked about the Lakers championship run. That was a crazy thing to watch just that year after everything that had happened. Kobe Bryant is definitely a top 5 player to ever pick up a basketball. We saw all the great moments from 81 to Shaq and Kobe three-peat to the repeat in 2009, 2010. What a career from Kobe Bryant, and it's been 2 years, and it's still unbelievable to even think about. But
yeah, like he was like think about it, he was like an 18-year-old dude. Because I got my godfather gave me a book, Lakers book, and like that, he was a young 18-year-old prospect, like bodying grown men, man. Like coming from Lower East Marion High School in Philly, a young dude. People didn't believe in him at a young age because he was like, oh, no way this 18-year-old dude can have so much skill. But this man was going into like pickup games, into gyms, into like scouts were looking at him. This dude was crossing people up, dunking on people at 18. Like this dude was special. And you knew like this dude Kobe was born with a basketball in his hand. And like now just like like I don't know, it's just kind of like when I first I was bawling, I was crying because like it hit me. Like it's like losing a family member, man. Like someone that's close to you, even though he's not like I didn't know him personally, but it affected everyone in the sports world. Like so rest in peace, Kobe. We will miss you. We will continue your legacy, Mamba, forever. That's all I gotta say for that.
yeah, it was a very crazy day. But 2 years since 2 years, it's been 2 years. So, well, our next story on our NBA little mini segment that we have going here. It's been a little bit of a lull this week, but we have the All-Star coming up February 20th in about 3 weeks. So the All-Star starters have been announced. So the East Pool starters, it's KD, Giannis, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, and Trae Young. On the West side, LeBron, Steph, Nikola Jokic, Ja Morant, and Andrew Wiggins. So a lot of controversies around the Wiggins pick in terms of All-Star starters. Matt, I'm going to go to you first.
Well, as far as the this is definitely his best season. We statistically are just finding a role. This is his best season I feel that he's had. A lot of people, when he first came out, people were talking about like the next LeBron, is making all types of crazy comparisons when he was coming out of Kansas. I never valued him that much. I never like looked at him at that status. I thought he was always like an all-star border player, like those players who were consistent all-star. They make it one year. Like Kyle Lowry, for example. I viewed him in that light, but I disagree with them. I know they going based on position. I have Devin Booker starting, but I know they go by positions. So they went Ja Morant, Steph at the guards, and then Andrew at the three. But even if not Devin Booker, since they're doing it by positions, I'll go Luka. Even though the Mavericks had a bad start to the season and Luka hasn't played quite as well as he did last year, they still have, if I'm not mistaken, what are they? Fifth in the like top 6, 7. So they're still in playoff contention. Luka's still the main guy on the team, and that's the main reason why I have Luka starting over Andrew Wiggins, is because just their roles are completely different. Luka is the best player on a playoff caliber team, and he has all the responsibility. Sometimes it's Luka or bust because there's no real second option because Kristaps Porzingis is never healthy. He's always out, even though he started the season off very well actually, but he's injured again. It's always basically Luka or bust. Yes, they have Tim Hardaway and Brunson is nice. He has nice games occasionally. Andrew Wiggins is basically the third or fourth option now that Klay Thompson is back, and once Wiseman comes back, he pushed down even further. So it's just the responsibility is different. He doesn't have to worry about carrying a team every night in and night out. He can just let Steph do his things and feed off Steph. So I think just off the fact that Luke's role is the first option and Andrew's more of like a third option, third, fourth, I would go with Luka because Andrew Wiggins doesn't have as much responsibility on his plate.
Yeah, Luka Doncic's definitely been having a great season, and Andrew Wiggins and the Warriors are definitely having better team success. So it could be part of the reason why. And also, their Warriors fans are in abundance, so they were probably spamming that All-Star vote because it always comes down to the fan vote. Jay, do you have any opinion on this?
My question is, so I know Kevin Durant got picked, but he might not play. So I mean, who would be? Because he has that knee ligament.
It's going to be someone in the East, though. They're going to pull in the East replacement.
Gotcha,
so I don't know. I'm trying to think who would.
Zach
LaVine could be.
But
I would pick Zach.
Maybe like Jimmy.
I think they list him as a guard. He may not be KD's replacement.
Probably someone from the Heat, maybe like Jimmy.
Yeah, that's a solid one.
Yeah,
but
maybe Jimmy or Zach, I would say, are the top two candidates.
All right, so Jay, what were you saying?
No, I was saying that I don't know. This whole All-Star, like the modern day All-Star game, are not like, I mean, they're kind of competitive. Like usually, like the first couple quarters, they play kind of soft because I mean but then towards third, fourth quarter, they start actually playing ball. But like we're talking about like modern day All-Star games compared to like the olden day All-Star games, like the Kobe Bryant's, the Michael Jordans, when they got picked, they actually went hard like all four quarters. I mean, because think about it, it's the best. Basically they call it the best pickup game, the best pickup game in the world. All the best players in the world is at one event on the same court for one night. And don't get me wrong, I mean, it's been cool to watch. But I don't know. It's kind of like the past couple of years, like it's kind of been boring to watch. Like even though like it's kind of fun because it's an All-Star game, but back in the day they used to like go at it, like So I mean, I'm not sure if that's like the times have changed, like different eras. Because I know that one episode of The Last Dance when they were all like the Kobe Bryant, they were all in the locker room and stuff, like talking crap to each other and stuff. Like they were going at it. So I mean, what do y'all think about that?
I never really put too much thought into the NBA All-Star game. It was something fun to watch. I threw it on whenever it was on.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't want these guys to be going at it like so hard because at the end of the day, it's just an exhibition game. These guys have a whole nother half of a season to go. They have
don't they have something in their contract like an incentive? Like in their
they just have an incentive to make the All-Star team, not to win it. That doesn't matter. All you have to do is make it. So the All-Star game is really just an exhibition. It's meaningless. Like you want to get in, of course, because that's an incentivized part of your contract. But once you're in it and playing in it, serves no real purpose to you. I mean, you want to show off what you can do against the best players in the world, but at the end of the day, it's not going to factor in the grand scheme of things. You don't want your players, especially if you're a Laker fan, LeBron goes down the All-Star game. You're going to be mad because LeBron got hurt in a game that virtually means nothing. So I'd rather these guys, put on a little bit of a show, have fun, and just put on a show for the fans than rather going after each other and having a competitive game, because the All-Star game is not really meant to be that. Matt?
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. It's definitely fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. It's just like maybe the competition where it's like, or it was like, you had the Magic Johnsons, like they were going at it 4 quarters, like. Because, I mean, obviously they were best friends off the court, but on the court they were competitors. I'm not saying like KD and LeBron, they're tight off the court, but I mean I'm saying like the way the game was played. I think last year was like they had to make the one team had to get to a certain amount of points to win the game. I think like 150 points or something like that to win, and then I think it's like a set score.
Yeah, that was the Kobe Bryant year.
Oh, that was the Kobe Bryant year.
Yeah, it was because Kobe they did like a promotion where like they had to reach a certain number of points. And there was no time limit; they just had to get it in this amount of time.
Mm.
It was a promotion.
Right, okay.
I liked that too.
I know it was last year as well. I think they did it last 2 years.
Did they do it last year? I don't remember. I don't think I watched the game last year.
I think so. Because remember, they did. Because I think Damian Lillard made that logo 3 to end it.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I didn't
like
watch the game last year. I don't really remember.
Yeah, but I just want to add this real quick. To Jordan's point, it is an era thing. It is definitely a generation thing as far as why they don't go as hard, especially in the All-Star game. Because if you look at back then, players didn't hang out in the off season. Players weren't buddy. Hey, let's get together and make super teams. Let's do this. No, it was you stay over there. I'm staying here, and we're going to battle. We're going to go at it. Now you have LeBron and all these young players that look up and working out with him in the offseason. You got Kyrie and James Harden and Kawhi and Paul George working out together. Best friends working out together. The Banana Boat crew. I know Dwayne Wade's retired now, but there's cliques now. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the raw spirit of competitiveness isn't quite what it was because everybody is friends. And I'm not saying they don't try to win. I'm not saying that if they don't go out and try to give their 100% effort and not compete. But it feels like the viciousness that you're referring to, Jordan, like that grit, it is gone. That's what's missing in today's game. But like I said, I've enjoyed the last 2 or 3 years. The year Kobe unfortunately passed away, I think that was a great All-Star game. Last year was amazing to see Damian Lillard and Steph just go back and forth with logo threes. I watched it. They both made like a crazy amounts of deep threes. So that I think that's the reason right there. It's just a new generation.
Yeah, I mean the All-Star game, it's an exhibition at the end of the day. It's meant to entertain the fans. And there's 2 sides of the argument, Jay. You believe in the side where it should be physical. Me and Matt are sort of on the side where it should be a little bit more of a showmanship sort of thing, not to tamper with players who might get injured. But we'll see what happens on February 20th. It should be an exciting thing, and it's always fun. But our last story of the night.
Better than the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, for sure it's better than the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl, I never watched Pro Bowl. It stinks. But last story of the night.
Did you see the starting lineup? It was like Kirk Cousins and Russell Wilson, and I'm like, no one's watching that. But go ahead, Ant. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, last story of the night: slam dunk contest. They announced the 4 participants who are going to perform in the slam dunk contest on February 19th. Orlando Magic guard Cole Anthony, Houston Rockets rookie guard Jalen Green, New York Knicks forward Obi Toppin, and Golden State Warriors guard Juan Toscano Anderson. So not a superstar, all-star studded cast we're going to be seeing at the slam dunk contest. But what do you guys think about this, Jay?
I don't know, man. Cole Anthony, he's a phenomenal player, point guard. Just like the All-Star game, man. The dunk contest, like ever since the Aaron Gordon controversy with the whole with the dunk in the voting, it's just like the dunking has been like whack. Like other than like who's that dude on the backup point guard for the Blazers?
Aaron Gordon.
No, on the
Or
Blazers on the
Simmons.
backup. Simon's there. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he's a dunker, but I don't know. I might not watch the dunk contest this year, man, because I don't know. Like, I don't know any. Toscano, he's a slasher, but like I haven't seen him dunk in recently, like that. Like, but we'll see. I mean, maybe I'll watch a little bit of it. Maybe I watch the first couple rounds. But it's not really too appealing to me.
Yeah, I saw this. I like Jalen Green. I think Jalen Green's gonna be a real high-flying guy.
Nice.
He could dunk, man, like for real.
Yeah.
I've seen some of his highlights of the first few weeks, but everyone was anticipating maybe an Anthony Edwards in this dunk contest.
John Morant,
John Morant, maybe. Like we wanted to see some guys who could be high flyers, but normally guys, we've seen in the past that dunk contests have had less star power in these last few years. Even the year when Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon were going at it, they weren't superstars then. They were sort of like first, second year guys starting to get their legs under them. They weren't like the guys they are now. So I think the slam dunk contest is really like a starting ground, like a training ground, really, just to get your name out there for people who really don't know you. So when you do get your name up off the ground, you get more consideration for like all-stars and stuff like that. That I never really seen the dunk contest for like, it's not what it used to be when Michael Jordan was going to it every year, or when who else, like Nate Robinson was going to it, and Dwight Howard as well. It's not like that anymore. Blake Griffin, I should say, another name in there. But it's not like that anymore. It's more of a training ground for younger guys to sort of get their name out there to NBA fans who may not know who they are. Matt, do you want to chime in?
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely with you. Yeah, I agree completely with everything you just said, Ant. It's not what it used to be. Back then, we had all the studs, Michael Jordan, Dr. J. We had Jason Richardson. We had Dominique Wilkins. Excuse me. We had all the elite players who were athletic participating in the dunk contest. You just don't see it nowadays. Like LeBron didn't do it. Russell Westbrook never did it. Like that's MVP. Derrick Rose never did it. And the stars today's age don't want to do it. I don't know if it's just they're scared about getting injured on a dunk attempt, or they just think the All-Star game slam dunk contest is just beneath them. I don't know what it is about this generation not want to participate. Maybe they feel like it's an insult that, hey, man, I'm too good to be in the slam dunk contest. Because as you mentioned, I feel nowadays it is more about getting these younger players' names out who are on the come up, like Zach LaVine back then, and Gordon, Jalen Green nowadays. But I wish they would have like put Zion Williamson, John Morant, Jaylen Brown. There's so many athletic young who are still young. None of the players I just named are over the age of 25, and they're all super athletic. The only players I'm interested in this dunk contest is Jalen Green and Anthony Cole. Anthony Cole. I actually saw some of his high school and college. He can get freaky. He has. I know he plays for Orlando Magic, and you guys probably don't watch a lot of Orlando Magic games. I don't either. I'm gonna be honest. I've seen Cole Anthony. He has some material. I think it's just gonna come down to Jalen Green and Anthony. To be honest, Toscano Anderson. He's just an in-game dunker. He's just a poor Blake Griffin when he was with the Clippers, in my opinion. And then who was the other? Obi Toppin is just another in-game. He's a very good dunker. He's a power dunker, but I just think he's not going to get far due to he doesn't seem like that type of person who was a high flyer. He's like a in-game dunker, like a LeBron or a Blake Griffin. So that's how I feel about it. I'm not really that interested, but I am interested to see Jalen Green and Cole Anthony.
And who knows? We might even see the next Zach LaVine tonight. I mean, it's the slam dunk contest is just something we've seen most of the dunks. I mean, what else can you possibly do that hasn't already been done?
The thing, like my issue with the dunk contest is like just the voting. Like, how the heck does Aaron Gordon? How does Aaron Gordon? I think was it last year Aaron Gordon dunked, or 2 years ago dunked over Taco Fall, and that's probably one of the tallest players in the NBA, like 7'2". Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was him that dunked over Taco Fall.
Aaron Gordon.
And I think everyone gave him a 9.
Or no, everyone gave him a 10 except
a
for
10, and then I think D Wade gave him a 9.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, D Wade, bro. Like, are you serious? Like, dude jumping over it, dude jumping. That's a lot of bounce to get over a 7-2, and that's a lot of energy. And I mean, that's why he's not doing it, because the voting is just rigged. I think it's rigged.
I think it's a little stupid. It's just
like back in the day. That's what I'm saying. Like when you compare like different eras, like you see like dominant Spud Webb, like all these. He was short. Like Nate Robinson, all these like when you compare the dunk contest,
dang.
People really were glued to the TV back in the day to watch like the MJ's dunk. And like the voting was actually serious back then. Like,
Yo, Jay's getting heated over the dunk contest right now, bro. I never see you get this heated over something so trivial.
I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the 3-point contest. Did they release that?
I don't think they released that yet. I haven't seen anything about that.
I'll probably be happy. That I put the Bug Curry in there and Clay in there. I mean,
that requires less strenuous stuff. Like dunking requires you to like strain your legs a little bit.
But
shooting is not that bad, so you're gonna see.
Yeah, I was kind of mad because like Gordon should have won that contest a couple years ago because of that. So
yeah, well, the dunk contest is gonna take place.
I agree. I definitely like the 3-point shooting over the dunking. I've always liked the dunking. I mean, the 3-point shooting over the dunk contest. The best dunk contest I ever seen was that Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon contest. That was amazing. But I'm interested to see the 3-point shootout. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it should be entertaining. That is going to take place February 19th. That's Saturday. Yeah, so NBA, that's pretty much all we have for our NBA coverage today. It's been a little bit of a dry week, so we thought we could throw in a few little fun stories and remember Kobe as well. So that's all we have today right now for the JJL Sports Talk Show. I'm Anthony Cafone. Jay's Jordan John Louis. Big J is our fearless leader, along with Matt Thornton. Big Maz, Brandon Marazzo could not make it tonight, but I'm sure he's listening right now. So Maz, we'll see you next week, buddy. Yep. Anything you guys want to say before we wrap up?
Did you guys shout out Maz's scores?
We'll shout him out right now. Maz, great job on your predictions. Great job on your predictions for the Bengals.
Good job, Maz.
Rams and
good job, Maz. I'll see you in class tomorrow, brother.
Congratulations, guys.
All right, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you guys for listening as always, and we'll see you next time. Jay, wrap it up for us.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Just again, new news that we are on Amazon Music, Amazon Podcast, so that's a new thing. But yeah, just follow us, stream us. If, you know what to do, y'all. So keep on subscribing, keep on viewing us, and we'll be back next week.
Peace.